Hello and welcome to episode 56 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, the podcast where we take a random movie from Metacritic's all-time movie list to review. This is Colin.
And this is Niall.
Oh, hi, Niall.
Hi.
Hi, doggy. So this is Random Movie 2060. It's The Disaster Artist from 2017. Has a Metascore of 76 and a user score of 7.8. Runs for 1 hour and 44 minutes. Had a budget of 10 million and made 29.8 million at the box office. Directed by James Franco or David Franco? James, right?
Definitely a Franco.
One of them, yeah, James Franco. Yeah, so here's the summary for it. With the disaster artist, James Franco transforms the tragi-comic true story of aspiring filmmaker and infamous Hollywood outsider Tommy Wiseau, an artist whose passion was as sincere as his methods were questionable, into a celebration of friendship, artistic expression, and dreams pursued against insurmountable odds. It's based on Greg Sestero's book, The Room, the greatest bad movie ever made, who plays Mark in The Room, I believe. Yes, that's true.
Yes, Mark, yeah.
Yeah. So it's sort of one of these movies where James Franco gets a bunch of his buddies together to make a movie. And my memory seems to be that anytime Seth Rogen and the Francos get together, you're going to get the same sort of comedic approach to a movie. It's going to be sort of...
I sense a bit of disgust in the way you've said that.
I'm not a big fan of the... I liked Pineapple Express. I thought that was quite funny, but anything else, I don't really waste my time. I don't go out of my way to watch these types of movies.
I get what you're saying. The thing is, I'm quite a big fan of Seth Rogen, but I don't like it when he gets together with Franco. And I'm a big fan of Franco, but I don't like it when they're together. Type thing. I kind of get what you're saying. I believe their collaborations aren't always the best.
Yeah, I don't know. Just my personal preference. Nothing too crazy behind it. It just doesn't really sit well for me.
See, with my head, I like when Seth Rogen is behind the camera, not in front of the camera, and he's doing things like he was involved in The Boys, or at least in the spin-off of The Boys, Gen Z, I think. Was it Gen Z, or he did the animation? I can't remember now. But he was also involved a little bit in a thing called Invincible, which is another superhero animation thing. That's very good in my eyes, sort of anime style.
Yeah, he's definitely behind a lot of production of current TV shows now, isn't he?
He is. And I think he's quite creative. I think the problem with when he's in front of the camera, he's got one character. You know, he's that happy-go-lucky stoner type character, which is fun once or twice, but repeated 20 times, it gets a bit, tired.
Yeah, I'm just glad he didn't laugh too much in this movie.
Yeah.
To be honest. So we start off the movie, there's a bunch of celebrities basically saying their 2 cents worth of opinions about Tommy Wiseau and The Room. So The Room was a movie that came out, 94, mid-90s, late 90s, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, or maybe early 2000s. But
was it 2000? Oh, it was like 98 or something, wasn't it? I can't remember. The date showed up, I didn't write it down like a gobdo.
It came out at the same year as Shakespeare in Love, because that's on the...
that's right, yeah, on the billboard.
Yeah. Well,
don't ask me when that came out either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so The Room, it says, came out in 2003.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, whatever. It's a movie, and it's a ridiculously bad movie. I watched a bit of it last night just to get my memory.
Yourself, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically dubbed, just like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but for different reasons.
Yeah, it's like...
It's terrible.
Poor Tommy. Like, he's not the worst person on the planet. He's not great as a person, but he's not the worst. He's just deluded.
Yeah, he's a strange character. They found out, like, they did some research that he's actually came from Poland or whatever. But
he wouldn't tell anybody.
No, they still don't know where he got his millions from, because the actual filming of The Room cost a couple of mil. I believe.
6 million, I think, was the number that it cost to film, and that's a lot of money. Like, he bought all the equipment when everybody else in the industry hires it because it's bloody expensive.
Yeah, and decided to film it in digital and analog.
Makes sense to me, you know, because he just wanted to. I think he just wanted to sound like a big Hollywood director, where the guys selling it to him were like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah. Yeah, and then just hires a bunch of just like create like 20 or 30 people to actually be around in the movie, do the costumes and stuff like that. But yeah, so like it starts off like, so The Room is a cult bad movie. There's conventions, there's premieres that happen where Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero go out and talk to the audiences, and people basically have different games they play when they watch The Room.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a little bit of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That, not that the Rocky Horror Picture Show is as bad as The Room. It's not. It's not great. No. I don't like it personally. My wife loves it. She made me go along to a live rendition of it. It's interesting, and there is a cult following to it, and there is it's a I don't know what you would call it. It's a day out where you dress up and act like an idiot and you get into character and all that sort of stuff. And I think The Room is something similar to that.
Yeah, people obviously found something to, communally.
They bask in its crapness.
Yeah, they love just going to watch it together and laughing in its absurdity and terribleness. And you sort of get to sort of have a sense of that near the end of this movie.
Yeah.
So obviously this movie is based on Greg Sestero's book, which basically chronicles the amount of craziness that goes on with Tommy Wiseau and the sort of mystery around him. And what is he? Why does he do what he does? And is he an idiot? He comes across as a bit ignorant.
He comes across as lazy, ignorant, and deluded.
Yeah, he just kind of comes across as somebody who's just given a whole bunch of money by a dead relative and just didn't have to work at all, and hone those common sense skills to actually get that money. And just
he's never been knocked down, because if he gets knocked down, he just throws another couple of million at it.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that the money isn't some sort of nefariously garnered sort of cash, because it could really put a dark spin on it. Because from Googling where the money came from, there were some dark theories I don't really want to get into, but I'm not so sure they're true. Like, there was talk of drug smuggling and people trafficking and stuff like that. That is a complete and utter, dark web lunacy theories, but the rumors are out there. I'm just going to go with some relative died and give them loads of money because it's nicer.
Yeah. Well, 20 years later, in 2023, he came out with his follow-up big movie. He did a couple of shorts for some strange reason and directed a TV series, whatever, for 8 episodes.
You talking about the Samurai Cop 2 or Samurai Cop 1?
I'm talking about Big Shark.
Big Shark. I've never heard of it. Okay.
Yeah, so I think he got Greg Sestero to come back, and yeah, he did. He got Greg Sestero to come back and play one of the characters. So obviously Greg Sestero, he doesn't hate him, he doesn't dislike Tommy Wiseau. He says a lot of shit about him in his book, but
but if you're going to make money out of it, which he clearly has, out of the crapness of a particular movie and how ridiculous it is, you might as well just lean into it.
Well, yeah, I think that's what he wanted to do. I think he made Big Shark just because he knew how crap he could make a shark movie. And
so I've never heard of it until you mentioned it. Now, I didn't see it in his cinematography. I didn't Google all that hard, to be honest.
No.
But I'd seen Samurai Cop 1 and 2 and went, oh, interesting. I'm assuming it's some sort of like remake of Sharknado or something equally awful.
Oh, yeah, definitely something as stupid as that. And maybe, I don't know, he probably in his deluded mind thought, oh, they did well and people are expecting crap, so let's just do another crap movie.
Well, in fairness, that's what Sharknado did. And if you can make your money out of being really shit, why not? Go for it.
Yeah. So this disaster artist obviously movie chronicles and takes after Greg Sestero's book. At the start of the movie, it's portrayed that Greg, played by Dave Franco, is a terrible actor. He's acting in Waiting for Godot, and Tommy Wiseau is an actor in this acting class. He's a weirdo.
Stella!
Yeah. He's terrible. He's really terrible. And he throws a chair. Everybody's going, get the hell off the stage, Jesus.
He's
But
like there for 5 minutes just shouting Stella over and over again. It's great.
yeah, and he brings the woman up for no reason whatsoever, just because
to
they're
shout
in
at
the
her.
scene. Yeah, it's just Stella. So like obviously, but Greg sees something in him and he goes after him after. Oh, that's
I wish I had your confidence, man.
yeah, exactly. Like he obviously was a shy character. I'll get it out there. I don't like Dave Franco's acting in this. I think he's too smiley, overly smiley. I don't like it at all. It's just like James Franco does a great job doing Tommy Wiseau.
Dave Franco's awful. Let's be honest. Part of it, I think, maybe because the character is kind of naive and supposed to be wooden, but also it just doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't land it. I don't know what he's missing, but it doesn't hit. You're right. James Franco does a great. The thing is, it feels a bit like a caricature as well, though. But
It does.
that probably is correct.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing about this. It's really weird to watch this movie because I can't sit down during it and go, "This is a fantastic movie." It's the fact that Tommy Wiseau is such a caricature of himself, and then James Franco is just doing an impersonation of him, and and because it's so stilted and so weirdly just grammatically phrased as sentences.
It's jarring.
It's jarring.
It has to be, I guess, because Tommy he spoke that way. He spoke weird, and not because he was Polish. I don't know where he got that approach of speaking. That's not how Polish people speak English. It's just Tommy.
It's just Tommy, yeah. So it's just that the portrayal of him is just, it's good, but it's just kind of weird and in a way just kind of throws
New Orleans people.
Yeah, New Orleans, yeah. So anyway, they meet up and they're in a diner and he gets Greg out of his shell by doing a Shakespearean scene in the middle of a restaurant or a diner.
Awkward.
Yeah, they just yell and they're bad. Both of them are terrible, and
then the slow clapping at the end. Oh God,
no! Yeah, and then it's just like they throw off.
I did love this football scene.
The football one,
when Tommy's throwing the ball, and it's like
he's got no clue. He doesn't have a clue how to throw an American football. It's weird.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, the touchdown!" Oh, it's just so bad, and you just feel for. You kind of like him a little bit, but you just feel like, Tommy, stop, please.
And it's weird because, like, he obviously, because they go to the apartment and Greg is saying something. Yeah, I was left home. Home Alone really influenced me. And Tommy's like, oh, you were left alone by your parents? Like, no, the movie. Like, he hasn't got any sort of cultural anchor to movies. So I don't know why he wants to be an actor.
I think it's just he likes the coolness of it, that or be a vampire type thing. He has no idea. Like, Home Alone is not exactly an unknown movie. It's pop culture. So if you know movies at all, you know Home Alone. And he didn't. He basically knew some Shakespeare, like not even much Shakespeare, because he gets caught out later on in the movie with a couple of quotes.
Yeah.
So he had no idea about anything.
No, he doesn't. And he gets introduced to James Dean by Greg as well. You're tearing me apart. So he takes that and writes that into the room.
Oh, Lisa.
So they drive to James Dean's crash site and make a pact that they'll see it through to the end, and pinky swear to do a movie.
And to be honest, and then the next scene they're driving home to Rick Astley. To me, that's a ridiculous scene and it's stupid and it wouldn't make any sense in a movie. But it kind of works. No, it doesn't work, I suppose, but it makes sense with knowing that this is a real character and it actually fits him.
Yeah.
It's just stupidly ridiculous, but actually probably happened.
Yeah, for sure. Greg's mom's not happy. That's fine.
Would you be?
Tommy.
How old are you?
Yeah. Tommy.
19.
Tommy calls Greg babyface in front of her, and she's like, "Oh, babyface? Who is this weirdo?"
There was a bang of, is he taking advantage of Greg? Is he acting so naive just to get Greg? alone with him in LA.
Which is sort of in the next scene. It's sort of when they get to his apartment that he owns in bloody LA. He's like, "Don't you want to share a bed with me, Greg?"
Yeah, and and even in this scene, and even after he jokes about it, I'm still not sure he didn't want to.
Yeah, right. All right.
Like it's really confusing. Like how he talks to people and deals with people.
Yeah,
Like he's definitely on some form of spectrum. Like he doesn't really understand human interaction all that well.
true. Like you're saying, it smacks of only child, smacks of just no social things, cues or skills, and you see
Yeah.
like it's basically there's a kind of a 3 month later sort of gap here. Like obviously Greg signs up for an agency who's Sharon Stone, who shows up for one scene.
Yeah.
You know, you see a scene where Tommy is trying to dance with Greg, and then he meets Amber at the bar, and he's jealous. He's get out of here, Greg.
We're leaving this bar. It's a stupid bar. We're going to a different bar.
Stupid.
Yeah, stupid.
Let's get out of here, Greg. So 3 months later, Greg is with Amber, and Tommy's at this famous Bob Odenkirk acting class.
Yeah, yeah. And what did he call him again? Stanislavski? I think he was a famous acting teacher, but dead now type thing.
Yeah. He gets totally caught out in that again. It's like, okay, is he lying? Is he naive? He's obviously, Bob Odenkirk is obviously not just calling himself Stanislavski or whatever. I think it's...
No, I think he just misread something because, you know, he doesn't seem like a guy who's detail oriented.
No.
So he picked it up wrong and he stuck with it. And, but then during the I don't know if it's some sort of acting audition or whatever, but as he's doing it, he wants to be the hero of the part. And Bob Odenkirk's like, no, you're not. You look at yourself. You could never be the hero. You're the villain. You're an ogre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he should have listened because he, quite frankly, in a late 90s movie, he would come across as a really crap movie villain.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, maybe like the accent, like Schwarzenegger did it. You know, maybe Tommy Wiseau could have done that.
The next Terminator,
yeah. I don't know, a Batman villain in one of the crappy ones, Batman and Robin or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Tommy also has another cringe thing. One cringe scene after the other, when he goes up to Judd Apatow in the restaurant and goes, "Tibby!"
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, not Tibby. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. It's painful.
Yeah. Well, Greg and Tommy have similar experiences at this stage. They're talking up on their rooftop, and this time they do another pinky swear to, you know, the first pinky swear was just moving to LA and trying to figure it out. And this pinky swear is, let's make our own movie, Greg.
To be honest, Greg hasn't had as bad, even though he kind of agrees with the idea that they're both failing. They are, but
yeah.
Greg's friend, I think in a previous scene, just said the reason why you're failing, why you're flopping so bad, is because every time you walk into a room, what was the phrase? Tommy's like a chastity belt to the to the Hollywood people. As soon as he comes in, they just shut up. You're not getting a role,
right? I don't know why he's I don't know why he's dragging Tommy Wiseau around everywhere if he's auditioning. You know, that's just a bit of a silly comment to make.
It is, yeah. But I think they're associated together or something like that. I don't know. But
yeah.
Maybe it was just Greg's excuse for not succeeding to this point in his book.
Yeah. Well, we get a typewriter montage in the best possible sense where Tommy's writing this and...
How many words should a script be?
Yeah, exactly.
He has no flouncing about going, I don't... But in fairness, he stuck with it.
Well, yeah, big time. Now he basically gives it to Greg in a diner, says, "Read it, Greg." No?
Yeah, no. What else you got to do?
But then Greg was like, "Oh yeah, it's great, man." So like, Greg is this character, that's this person, this real life person who is interesting to me as well.
He's an idiot as well. Let's be honest.
Was he just scared to say this sucks, or did he actually think, "Man, I'm just so impressed that it's a full movie script"?
Well, it's either that or he just didn't care what movie he was in. He just wanted to be in a movie. I think he's a bit deluded as well, not to the same degree.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was one of those just, God, I want to just make it big, you know?
Yeah. And that's, that's kind of understandable. A lot of people go to LA and just gamble everything and fail miserably. These guys
Yeah.
didn't completely fail miserably.
The one thing they have that nobody else has is
There's
lots
a
of money.
bucket full of money.
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau has money, and we still don't know why. So yeah, they go to this Burns and Sawyer Productions. Go, yeah, we buy, we don't lease. They're like going, what the hell? You should sell it to them.
Oh yeah, actually, just before this, when they're doing the script, and it's like, also, there's going to be a character called Johnny, and then he's going to be the hero, and then maybe Johnny's a vampire.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, what?
Maybe he
Okay.
should have done that. Maybe
It would
he
have been
should
much
done
more
that.
interesting, I would imagine.
Yeah. So there's a big scene of when they're casting actors, which goes on a lot. The acting, like Tommy and Greg are two idiots in this scene where they just make them say stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on a cowboy. You're a cowboy. You get on a horse and I say
Somebody's knocked at the door.
Yeah.
And you're on a
yeah.
horse.
I just thought, I don't know. It was so complicated of a movie to understand what I was smiling at sometimes. I just don't think it was a funny movie. I just think the premise of the actual truth behind the story is kind of amusing. I didn't find this funny, really.
At times, it's quite sad, actually. And there's a lot of the character of Tommy. He's a very sad character. He's a very lonely character for large parts of the movie.
But Dave Franco doesn't have a fucking great fake beard on him for most of the movie.
It's shocking, isn't it? That's not a beard, right?
Grow a beard.
I really hope that what was on his face wasn't actual facial hair, because that was shocking. It was
like
brutal.
You can grow a bloody beard. A shoot is what, 8 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, grow some.
Do it in reverse.
Yeah. Have the beard first. Just film those scenes.
Yeah. Anyway, the casting scene is just a bit stupid for me.
Yeah,
we get to
not a high point.
Yeah, we get to the first day of shooting, and he does this big speech in front of everybody, and that's my toilet over there. That was kind of amusing.
That was good.
Seth Rogen goes, there's real toilet with real walls in the...
This director toilet. This is a proper Hollywood scene.
Director toilet. Yeah. Then there's like, Nathan Fielder's in this movie. I forgot. I didn't really actually cop on that he was in this movie. Do you watch any of Nathan Fielder's stuff?
I do not even know the name, so I would say no.
You'd find his stuff funny. He became very famous for Nathan For You TV show, where it's sort of a fake. He goes into businesses and helps them do just stupid business ideas, and it's quite funny.
Yeah,
it's filmed to be a real TV show. You need to watch it. I think
I shall Google that post haste.
Yeah, I think there's 4 seasons of it, and then he just came out with a recent movie, which was bonkers, which is worse than.
Who is he in this? He's not the script guy, obviously.
He's the guy who falls on the ground when they're playing basketball. They're throwing the football.
Okay, yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of lines in the movie.
Yeah, no,
so,
I haven't seen him before, so
yeah,
I shall Google that.
Yeah. So basically the majority of the movie here is just like going day 1 of 40 shooting, and the first day scene sets it up where they're shooting in an alleyway, but Seth Rogen again is going, there's an alleyway outside. No, we do it in...
It's proper Hollywood.
Hollywood.
But it's a real alleyway. It looks exactly the same. Yeah. Now.
But it's just you get to the point here, the actor's going... the character's name is Ray C. Can I just call him Ray? I know him. Why should I go Ray C?
It's Chris R.
Chris R. Yeah,
Chris
where did I get Ray C from? Chris R. Yeah, and Chris R. is going
Where's
nuts.
my fucking money? Where's my fucking money, man?
He's a great actor.
I thought he was excellent. He brought energy, It was the one piece of acting in the whole thing, and then everything's just...
Yeah. Then when they cut the scene, everybody's like happy and everything, and Tommy goes over to the little guy in the ground. Little boy, you okay? The guy's in his 20s.
He just mentioned it later on. I'm actually 26.
Yeah. Yeah, they would go through. There's a couple of scenes where they're shooting day 4 of 40, whatever. There's one of the scenes where Seth Rogen goes into a bank and is shocked that he actually is getting money from the check he's being written by Tommy.
Bounce. And then the guy obviously can't be doing this in banks, I wouldn't have thought, but says, oh yeah, it's like a bottomless pit, that account.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Interesting. So we get to the sort of momentous first day for Tommy's acting.
Yeah.
What is line?
What line?
Yeah.
What line? Take 67.
I did. What is like? The line is, "I didn't do it. I did not." Oh, hi, Mark. But that's for one of the takes he does. I did do it.
I did it.
I did it. Seth's going, "Are you changing the script?"
No, man, Hollywood script. It's good.
Yeah.
It's
So
shocking.
if you've heard anything about The Room, it's you've seen this scene in The Room.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. And Mark is Greg gives him a bottle, basically. Says, put this and just throw it on the ground. It'll make you get the lines right. I read that it wasn't. Yeah, it was worth. I read that it wasn't 67. I think it was like 20 something they did it in.
I would imagine it felt like 67 though.
Yeah. I think it jumps to like day 25 or 40, and there's another strange scene where they're up on the same roof and the character Mark is saying a like, sad story about beating his wife up. What a story, Mark. They're like going, hey, is this meant to be funny? Can you just
maybe
do
he
one?
wouldn't laugh, yeah.
Yeah, can you just do one with you not laughing? Okay. What a story, Mark.
Yeah. And I think this just goes to show how he's quite arrogant, Tommy, and supremely deluded.
He's deluded of his...
It's human. What was it? He called it human... it's human behavior. Human behavior. Sometimes people do crazy things.
Yeah. After this, he seems like... During all of this, he's got a bit behind the scenes cameraman, and so he sees both Seth Rogen and the other dude bad-mouthing him. So from that way on, he's kind of on the back foot, and he's sort of like ready to argue, and he wants to be respected as an auteur. That's the main. Tommy Wiseau wanted to be, and still wants to be respected as an auteur, a creative genius, which you'll never.
No, that's at some point you have to accept the fact that you lack skill. I don't think that Tommy ever gets to that point.
No, never. So then it all piles up. He sees that video, then he finds out Amber and Greg are moving in together, and he's not happy. Like, and yeah, you're right. Me. Yeah, he just like, we don't know if he has romantic feelings for Greg, to be honest with you, you know. But
I at this point, I don't think he does. But I think he finds this on top of everybody talking behind his back, like a final straw type thing.
Yeah, I think he I don't know, he just wanted a best friend who lives with him forever
and ever.
Well. Yeah. Again, that's his social skills not being developed. So yeah, this next scene where he's doing the nude scene is very cringe and very...
Oh, it's kind of awful.
Yeah, really, well, especially when it comes to James Franco's alleged inappropriate behavior with female people in the industry. And I read actually the woman who played the costume designer as well came out quite recently when James Franco's alleged stories came out, saying that there was an air of inappropriateness on the set.
Oh, I was unaware of that. That's uncool. Yeah. And that
allegedly
really puts a dark spin on this particular scene.
Yeah, so this scene, like, you know, the character Tommy Wiseau, the real life character, he just wanted to be purely naked for this scene and wanted the actress to be nude as well. Air. He wanted the ass up in the air, and he's been very belligerent, and he's saying, "Oh, Kubrick, Hitchcock weren't friendly to their actors."
Yeah, what was it? He says, "Oh, she's pimple, she's ugly. Get makeup in here."
Yeah, she has like a
not great.
Blemish. No. So, yeah, in real life, Tommy was spiraling a little bit, and then he's like, it's day 36 of 40, and there's no air conditioning and no water in the place, so it's really going out of the loop, and the actress playing the mother faints. "I am dying. It's definitely breast cancer."
It's great dialogue. It's very Tarantino, isn't it?
It's amazing. Greg meets Bryan Cranston in the diner and gets a job offer from Malcolm in the Middle. Goes back to Tommy, and Tommy's going, "No, Greg, I can't help you, Greg. I can't help you. You have to choose, Greg."
Yeah, that was one hell of a dick move.
But that's Greg then being stupid as well. It's like, well, I'm going to take tomorrow off. See you later. What are you going to do?
He wouldn't have done anything. He would have just said, "Fair enough, Greg. It's bad. Or just don't turn up."
Yeah. So he's, so he has to, Greg has this fake beard at this time, so he needed the beard for Malcolm in the Middle, but he has to shave it for the last scene where they come in the tuxedos and play fucking football for some strange reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple of final scenes where he shoots himself, then gets up and
Shoots
acts
himself
again, then
again,
shoots himself
flounces
again.
around, smells a dress, humps a dress.
Humps the dress, yeah. It's all very bizarre.
Yeah, it's. I think it was really Tommy's gone at this point.
Yeah,
He's in a dark place.
But then you kind of see the absurdity of the actual script where they come up in tuxedos and go chirp, 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 chirp. So cringe.
Jesus.
Your chicken, chirp, chirp.
I think there's a scene. I think we might have skipped over where the actors are talking in the lot and they're having lunch.
Oh yeah,
I think it was right after the water scene or the fainting scene.
Yeah, I purposefully didn't take any notes. I just thought didn't work for me.
But I think what was interesting or what was pointed out in the scene, one of the actresses said that, well, maybe it's autobiographical and maybe this happened to Tommy effectively. And I think maybe that's the case. And I think in Tommy's head, he's the hero of the story.
Yeah, true. Well, if it's not autobiographical, it's like self infatuation and trying to
completely, yeah. That's why he wants to be a vampire.
Yeah, sort of like Good Will Hunting. Matt Damon wrote that for himself to be an amazing person. Oh, he's a genius. Sorry.
In fairness, Matt Damon did a better job. I know you hate him. I know you absolutely hate him and his friend. But
I don't hate Matt Damon.
Terrible movie.
Yeah. I hate
compared to
Good
The
Will
Room.
Hunting.
It was okay.
How do you like
I wouldn't
that?
say I hate it.
Shut up.
Shut it.
Yeah, it goes to day 58 of 40, and
yeah.
Tommy wants to take Greg down to San Francisco, and they throw a ball game around, and they have a different camera crew, and Greg's like, "Fuck this! Like, who are you? Where do you get your money from? What's your age?" Doesn't answer any of them. Throws the ball stupidly, and Greg's like, "Oh, your movie over. I'm done."
Yeah, bit more flancing
8 months.
around.
8 months later, Greg's doing a good job in Death of a Salesman. He looks pretty decent.
Yeah,
he sees a massive billboard on this. I think I read that he, in real life, Tommy Wiseau paid that to be there for 5 years.
Get away! I wouldn't be that surprised.
And the number, the phone number on the billboard went to his apartment and thing. And if Tommy didn't answer the phone, it would say, "Here's where your RSVP to or whatever to go to." Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, he was bickies.
Yeah, that's crazy. Again, money.
Yeah.
So, Tommy turns up to his actors. Yeah, come to the premiere, Greg.
Didn't have a
baby
face.
Greg. Yeah. So he hops in. He goes to the premiere. There's fucking 50 boxes in the limo. Just stupid. He goes up and, he's expecting people to enjoy the movie. The movie plays for the premiere and people just suddenly realize, oh my God, this is terrible. But hang on a second. It's actually so bad. It's funny. So all the people start laughing, and he walks out, and he's like,
he's devastated at this point because he thinks,
"Oh yeah,
I'm
for
not
like
being
2
taken
minutes."
Serious. But then, in fairness, Greg, if this happened in real life, it did
not happen.
Did it not?
No,
oh, okay.
The people
it's too nice, too Hollywood.
Yeah, so the people at the premiere did not laugh uproariously. There was just very awkward silence and some pockets of laughter at how bad it was. So there was no sort of Hollywood ending where everybody just stood up and gave him bloody standing ovations.
Okay, well that makes more sense.
Yeah. So, but in this movie, it's really hard to get your brain wrapped around this because this is a movie about a movie. But then my reality, I know what happened, and then you're having to review the actual movie. So, the movie, the audience reacted, and everything was fine. He got up and did a speech and blah blah blah, and that was the end of the movie. Unless I'm missing something.
No, that's pretty much it. He did get up and says, "I'm glad you liked my comedic movie. It's exactly I intended." Which I could see him saying, but as you say, that probably didn't happen.
Did not happen.
The end.
Yeah, the end. All right, I'll give plot 2.5 out of 5 just because it's based on a book, which is based on a real story, and Tommy Wiseau basically, whatever. It's
based on a thing, based on a thing.
Yeah. I'm a dude trying to play a dude. There's your
I've
Tropic
been a
Thunder.
bad boy, father. Sorry, completely off the rails there. Yes, 2.5 seems reasonable. I wouldn't give it more. I wouldn't give it less. It kept my interest a lot, to be honest. It's a very interesting tale. It's ridiculous. I think that's the reason why I'd give it 2.5. If it wasn't so ridiculous and it wasn't real, I wouldn't
Yeah.
give it anywhere near 2.5.
No, it adds a bit of depth to it, knowing that it's based on reality. So you're kind of going, yeah, it's well done for making it. And at the end when they play, like I think they did 20, they recreated 20 scenes from the actual movie shot for shot, and they
Yeah, and they
played
showed them
some of
side
those
by
at the end.
side. Yeah,
Yeah, which is interesting to see, and it shows they put a bit of effort into this.
yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, all right, I'm giving 2.25 out of 5 for acting because I don't like Dave Franco's portrayal. I think James does fine with what he did. It's a caricature of Tommy Wiseau, but other than that, there's nobody really else in this, and Dave Franco annoys me enough just to put it below average.
I'm going to go up a little bit higher. I'm going to give it 2.5. I didn't hate Dave Franco as much, and I think looking at scenes of Tommy, I think the other Franco did a pretty good job of mimicking him. Like it is an impersonation. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that's the only way you can play this, though. So 2.5 is about right in my
Yeah,
head.
fair enough. Sound brackets track. There's a couple of songs in during. Well, Fate No More's Epic is played.
I knew you'd mention that.
So I do give the soundtrack 2.5 because nothing really else stood out for me. But having Fate No More in your soundtrack gives you 2.5 automatically.
Again, 2.5. Yeah, there's nothing offensive musically. There's some interesting tracks in it. I didn't really write them down, but I do remember enjoying a few tunes. Yeah. That's about all I can say about it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't know. I'm maybe being a bit harsh for production, but I'm going to give it 2.25 below average because I think it was a weird watch. I don't know. There must be a better way to do this. I don't know. And I really don't know. I usually have an alternative way to produce movies like this. It's hard. It's easier when the movies are absolutely terrible. This isn't a terrible movie where I could, just like Hear Me and Helen, I could say, well, you need to do this and this. With this one, it's a movie about a movie. Would I have maybe? I don't know.
I would have dropped the guys in the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the jungle. Yeah, where they have to. Yeah, no.
Ad lib. Yeah.
Ad lib. I don't know. I can't see how you would do it differently either. It's a movie about a movie where you're playing a caricature of a man who is a caricature of himself. It has to be this way, I guess. I'm going to give it 2.5 as well. It's like I just realized I wrote it's 2.5 the whole way down.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 movie
for myself.
Yeah.
I think that's in my head. That's about right. Like,
yeah.
Production's fine. There's nothing that stands out, which is good and bad.
Yeah, I just think that the actual real life character of Tommy Wiseau only goes a certain amount before it becomes average.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's interesting for a while and then it fades.
Yeah, or you put it into my head, or you Tropic Thunder it, you go full blown comedy. Base it on the guys, base it on Greg Sestero's book, but actually make it funny.
See, I think they almost went a bit, not quite documentary in this, but they try to keep some form of realism here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know. I don't think the Tropic Thundering this would have worked all that well either.
No, just throwing it out there. But I think the realism...
You can never redo Tropic Thunder. I'm sorry.
No. But like the realistic story that it is based on has the funny thing about Tommy Wiseau is the actual fact that he wrote a terrible script. And so maybe the weakest parts of this disaster artist movie is the in-between bits where you're not seeing the recreation of these horrendous shots. It doesn't carry as much weight as the other shots.
I get that as well. But to a point, you can't really just remake The Room.
No.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't know what you'd do.
No. Well, we don't get paid at all for having our opinions.
Anything.
Or anything. Nick Allen from RogerEbert.com gave it 50 out of 100. There is a lacking critical quality to the story as it goes along, touching upon the film's many idiosyncrasies, but leaving them alone.
No, so he's pretty much give us the same whack as we did.
Yeah. San Francisco Chronicle, Mick LaSalle, 100 out of 100.
Fuck.
This movie is seriously funny, surprisingly funny. Not funny in a way that you ever decide to laugh, but funny like you couldn't keep quiet even if you wanted to. The laughs, as they say, keep coming. It's not that type of movie.
No, but I don't get it. It's funny, but not in the way that would make you laugh. Okay, sure. Funny, haha, or funny. Yeah. Nah. Okay. Cool. I think he's mental.
Yeah. One movie that comes into mind when I was watching is Ed Wood, Johnny Depp's portrayal of Ed Wood, shot in black and white. I can't remember what year that came out, mid-90s probably. That's probably the standard benchmark I have up there for making an interesting movie about making a movie.
So I haven't seen that movie, so I can't comment.
It's very good.
Really?
I would recommend you get into that.
Edward, you said.
Ed Wood.
Yeah, Edward, yeah.
Edward the First. Yeah. All right, well, let's
Edward
say
Scissorhands, I think it's the full title.
That's true. Let's say, oh, bye, Mark, to this episode.
Yeah.
You like
Turn it apart, Colin.
Turn it apart, Lisa. All right, that's I'm not missing anything, am I? No, we've done everything. All right, let's randomize pick for our next episode and see what we get. Oh, we get 618.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, let's see where that leads us to. Okay, and so movie 618 is The Shape of Water.
Ooh, that's the one with the sexy fish.
Yeah, that's exactly what Guillermo del Toro wanted people to call it when they
Sexy Fish That Love, I think it's called, subtitled.
Yeah, so summary, set against the backdrop of Cold War era America circa 1963, the hidden high security government laboratory where she works. Lonely Elisa Sally Hawkins is trapped in a life of silence and isolation. Elisa's life is changed forever when she and co-worker Zelda discover a secret classified experiment, the sexy fish.
Codename Sexy Fish.
Yeah. All right, cool. That'll be interesting. I think I watched it years ago when it came out, but I don't remember apart from the intra-amphibian relationships.
Yeah. I'm interested to watch it again. I watched it a few years back myself.
Cool. All right, well, we'll do that then. So we'll see you in episode 57 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews. Keep liking and subscribing and sharing if you could possibly do that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Ciao.